Okay. Dan who? Dan double you. Let's go. Ow, wow, listen right now. Everybody knows the man that says pow. Start the show, gonna talk some toys. This is for the grown-up girls and boys making noise. Let's start the show. Talking Marvel Legends and the money that we blow. Honestly, look, there ain't no stopping me. Turtles and Joes too, let's do this properly. Need to buy more toys, don't tell my bank. Wasn't me, promise it was Hellfire Hank. Whole who crew, like they made me do it. If it lands at my door, then I best review it. Screw it, I don't usually boast, but I got Rich M, he's here to host. Raise a toast and raise some ducks. This isn't your average show, we're deluxe. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, and hopefully you already do. Pow! Welcome to this live initial reaction and thoughts of this brand new Marvel Legends Giant Man Haslab. Now, it was no secret it was Giant Man. I think they wanted us to know it was Giant Man. And me and Rich yesterday did a whole prediction stream talking about everything we could get. And maybe, I feel like we hyped it up a little bit too much. So, yeah, let's get into this. So, let me just start by saying a disclaimer. I'm live right now on a hot, sweaty afternoon here in the UK. It's finally summer arrived really late. So, underneath all my studio lights, I may go a little bit delirious. So, obviously, everything I say is just my thoughts and opinions. Disclaimer, my legal team advised me to say that this year for this Haslab campaign. Obviously, everyone can have their own thoughts. Do what you want. Back it, don't back it, love it, hate it. That's absolutely fine. I'm just here as a fan of Marvel Legends to have a fun discussion about our collection and just give you my first thoughts, okay? So no pressure, people. I feel like it's my channel. I feel like if you're here, you like the channel, you like the content. So I feel like I'm talking amongst friends, okay? So this is just my initial thoughts. Just like the rest of you, I've just seen it all live on YouTube. So, okay, let's get into this. Let me, it's Giant Man. Look at him there. Look how happy that guy is. Now, first thoughts. Let me just give you my first thoughts. So, like everyone, you press refresh, you see the page, you see the pictures. He looks good. He looks good. Like, genuinely, just focusing on the figure here, he looks good. Now, I said it on my stream yesterday. Forget Hasbro for a second. Forget any toy company. Just as a Marvel fan, all right? I've been collecting Legends for years, way over a decade. I wasn't in from the start on Toy Biz. Obviously, I creeped in my sort of young adulthood. Oh, let me close my window. My neighbours can hear me screaming. There you go. Yeah, my neighbours are here. We talk about the Haslab. It's too hot to have the windows not closed, right? So, for me, just as a Marvel fan, I want a Giant Man in my collection. I missed out on the Toy Biz one. I never completed all the figures in that wave, and the figures got really hard to get over here in the UK. So I just give up on Giant Man a long time ago, hoping that we would eventually get one. And today is the day. So as a representation of Giant Man in my collection, does this guy look good? Yes, absolutely. He looks like a solid, sort of classic-inspired version of Iron Man that will absolutely aesthetically fit into this epic Marvel Legends collection that we're currently building. Undoubtedly, he looks really nice. He's completely pinless. They said over 91 points of articulation. So as just a figure, just talking about Giant Man here, not the whole campaign, not the package, just Giant Man, I think he looks good. I think he looks good. To have him on the shelf, I reckon he's going to look good, okay? If you've got a big enough shelf, that is. Okay, so let's break all this down. I am live on YouTube here, so I don't want to ignore anyone who is watching live. So let me just say hello to people in the chat. I also have a poll up in the chat right now that quite simply says, do you plan on backing Giant Man? Okay? Quite simple. Do you plan on backing Giant Man? Remember, I'm not telling you what to do. Do what you want, but do you plan on it based off the base offering? So yes, happy with the base offering. No, not yet. Need to see more. And then no thanks, not for me. Okay, so I made this poll before they announced the stream, so we're going to get into all the tiers and stuff. But so far, with 45%, nearly 100 votes, yes, happy with the base offering. 25% say not yet, need to see more. And 30% say no thanks, not for me. Okay, so if you are watching live, please get involved with the live poll. But otherwise, shout out all the people in the chat. Much appreciated. So because we've got so much to just go through here, I'm just going to go straight into playing the video. So it's going to be on mute, so I'm going to commentate the video that Hasbro played, okay? So I'm going to go over to this screen, press play, and let's just commentate, okay? So this is the video they played first and foremost. Beyond Earth's Mightiest Avengers. Okay, so here it is. The induction of Giant Man. There's the silhouette. Looking good. And pow, the digital render looks nice. Completely pinless. I do like the facial expressions. The biggest hero yet. Did you notice they said hero? 24 inches, 91 points of articulation. So it's bigger than we all anticipated. We all guessed about 18 to 20. So it's a little bit bigger than we all thought. Not 29 points of articulation just in a hand. Just in a hand. Look at that. Nice texturing. Nice sculpted. The face looks really nice as well. They've done some new stuff with the eyes. Big expressions. There you go. 3 into. So this is the base offering. This comes standard with the figure. 10K backers needed by October the 23rd. So here are the unlocks. This is where it gets a little bit, I don't know, a little bit critical now, because not the most exciting of unlocks to be, like, my first impressions, not massively overwhelmed by the unlocks, but maybe that's because of the price. So here's some pretty pictures, slapping MODOK, there he is, waving with the Avengers. So yeah, can we help bring this classic Avenger to life like never before? HasbroPulse.com. So we can literally go over to Pulse right now and see. Let's give the page a refresh and see if it's even hit 1,000 yet. So yeah, so it's already over 1,000. So 9K to go, and it's literally been live for what, an hour, 42 minutes, less than an hour at the minute. The stream was at 4, yeah, so less than an hour, and we've got over 1,000 backers. So I would say that's off to a good start. That's off to a good start. Okay, so price, people in the UK. Let's have where's the price? Where is it up here? Am I missing? Am I blind? It's not. Oh, there it is. What am I talking about? Of course it's there. Right. £199.99. Now, I'm surprised with that price. Like, there are items on Hasbro Pulse right now that are genuinely more expensive than that. There's Transformers, there's Star Wars sets. So, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining at the price point. For the Haslab project, I'm surprised to see the price point so low. And that's maybe why we're not seeing any additional figures with it. Just again, I'm just talking off the top of the head here, unfiltered, all right? So don't be hypercritical. I'm just thinking out loud. So yeah, I think because the prices, they've lowered the price to $199. That's why the tiers ain't going to be additional figures. It's going to be additional parts, which is the case. It's going to be the swappable heads. But at least they're swappable heads rather than just the faceplates. Okay, so $199. Okay, I'm surprised. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm never going to sit here and go, I'm happy to pay £200 for an action figure. That sounds crazy. But in the current climate, in the current landscape of collectibles and action figures, especially based off the previous Haslabs, this is currently right now the cheapest Marvel Haslab there has been. Granted, this is the 4th one, but still, all the same, it's a correct statement. This is the cheapest Marvel Haslab there has been at under £200. So I'm not going to go completely mad at that. Happy to, me, myself, again, speaking for myself, I feel like I have to do a disclaimer every 5 minutes. We're in like this type of territory in the year where we're going to have half the community loving it, half the community hating it, okay? So just, again, I'm a Legends guy, but I genuinely like to look at this. Would I buy? Do I want this Giant Man? Yes, I do. I think I'm happy with the base offering. Is it perfect? Is it the perfect base offering? No, and I'll get into why for me. But right now, I'm happy with where it's at. If this wasn't a Haslab and this Giant Man went straight on Pulse, I would like to add this Giant Man to my collection. So I would be in on this. So I'm in on this. Just full disclosure, I'm in on this from the get go. I'll be a day one backer. I've been wanting a Giant Man in my collection. And undoubtedly, this is a great representation of Giant Man for the collection. So let's just go through some pictures here, okay? So there he is, looking nice and smiley. There he is from the back as well, completely pinless, as we said. Dwight was talking about how the harness is sort of attached underneath the belt, so it won't move, that V won't move with him. he'll move under the V type thing. But I do like that he's pinless, by the way. At this scale, it should be. But very, very good. I like the expressions, too. I like how the base offering is the free base of the free faces. Like, I know they're only face plates, but it's nice to know that they didn't make them a cheap tier. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're in the base offering. So that's a positive. You get the smile, angry. There's the smile. So 24 inches. Where's my tape measure? 24 inches. Let's just have a sense of scale here. Okay. Okay, so here... So it's 4 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot. What am I talking about? It's 2 foot. So according to my tape measure, wherever you are in the world, it is literally 2 foot tall at 24 inches, 60 centimeters if you prefer that metric. So let me just get my Sentinel and see where he scales to the Sentinel. Okay, so here's the Sentinel. Okay, hello mate. So we said yesterday on my live stream he'd go up to about the chest. Well, he's going to be like... Yeah, he'd be able to look the Sentinel in the face. Look at that, okay? So the tape measure's touching his foot. Okay, so we're talking to the top of the yellow marker here. So yeah, he's going to be able to look the Sentinel dead in the mouth, I think. Or maybe looking it in the neck, maybe. Look him in the neck. So yeah, so it is shorter than the Sentinel, but it's still big and impressive. So I think that's good. I think that's good, and especially when you compare it to Captain America there on the picture. I said, if you go and read comics and look at Giant Man, when characters are standing next to him, they're usually up to his shin. They are usually on par with his shin, all right? So they're under the knee, on par with the shin. And that's exactly what they've went for here. Like, you can see Captain America is just under the knee on the shin. So I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that 24 inches. It's big and impressive, but it's not as big as the Sentinel or Galactus, and it's clearly bigger than any of the Giant Mans we've got in the past. Now we've got like the 12-inch one, and then we've got maybe the 15 or 16-inch one. So obviously bigger than any of them. So I'm happy with the scale. There's one of the swappable faces. Dwight was talking about like they've got some new tech with the eyes, so they're going to be realistic eyes. That's great. Not the be-all end-all for me, but if it looks great, happy days. So smiley face, mean mugging, angry face. There's all the articulation in the hands, which does look like a hell of a lot. We've seen that in the Sentinel and the Galactus already, where they have the fingers and the knee, the knuckles and stuff. So that's nice with this. No need for interchangeable hands. You can get any pose you want. You can get him flipping the bird. You can go Stone Cold Steve Austin with your Giant Man if you really want to. He can hold a can in one hand and flip the bird with the other. So there's that. Not quite there. He's pointing there. There's his feet. So he's going to have ankle pivot. He's got the toe pivot as well. There's the pinless knees. So it's basically the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man body scaled up to 24 inches, essentially. That's sort of, in its most simplest form, that's what it is at the minute, with all these points of articulation. So, yeah, the boots are nicely sculpted. There's a nice leathery texture on the jacket. There's the interchangeable heads as well. Which head would I go for? The smiley one's a little bit too sinister, right? It's like he's a serial killer and he's got people buried in his garden. So I don't think I'm going to go for the smiley one. Maybe the mean mugging one, or just, yeah, maybe gritting teeth. Maybe I think the one in the middle is my preference here. He's ready for battle, but he doesn't look like a psychopath like the smiley face one does. But he looks good. Like, undoubtedly, as a sculpted figure, forget Haslab, forget price, forget tiers, just as an action figure, as what it's meant to represent as well. I think it's all right here. I think it looks pretty good. There's another close-up. Again, it's got the inverted ab, so you've got the ball joint up here, and then the ab crunch down at the waist. So lots of articulation. I have no doubt you'll be able to get him into some great poses. Better men than me will be able to do that for sure. I'm just going to have him standing there waving, I'm sure, like the rest of my bloody school book collection. There's the zombie face. So these are the tiers. So these is how they're trying to sell the tiers to us. So the only thing that bugs me about this is that they're technically MCU figures, and we've already seen the Giant Man in the zombie episode, and that was clearly the Giant Man of the MCU. So you're sort of fudging with the universes there. Everyone can create their own rules. It's your own collection. It's your own display. But in my brain, I can't help but look at that and go, that's MCU and comics. So ignore me. That's my own sort of brain wavelength on that, but that's what it is. The scroll one's nice. Now, it's not the accurate costume for Giant Man to be the Skrull. I think that's the more modernized outfit, like Rich was saying yesterday when he sort of tricked Tiger and they had a little Skrull baby. So that's sort of they're blurring the lines a little bit there, which I'm okay with. Like it still represents a giant Skrull, which is the case. It's just the costume design isn't 100% accurate, but I prefer that to the zombie one. And we do have some other Skrulls in our collection. Maybe Hasbro can re-release some of those regular Army Builder Skrulls. Hasbro, please, come on. So we can start doing that. But then we did get the recent 2-pack as well down there. So there's the zombie face. It looks like a bug there, doesn't it, a little bit? But it is the same colour as the previous zombie. So I like that they've done that. It's a nice touch for the people that like that. And then there's the Skrull as well. So there's the... So I don't hate them as tiers. Like I don't hate them as options, for the record. But I think I hyped this up too much on my head, and I thought the base offering would at least be a figure and Giant Man. So I thought in my head we're going to get a regular 6-inch scale version of Giant Man and then that same costume scaled up. I thought in my head that's how it will go, which isn't to be, obviously. It's just a figure. And I think that's maybe how they kept the price point. Now, again, I'm not talking politics. I don't understand the corporation money and stuff. I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe it would have been more. Maybe if it was the 250 price point, we would have got a figure and an unlock would have been a figure. But they're trying to keep it they're trying to keep the price down due to the current climate amongst the community. And yeah, they wanted to get it under £200, so they did it. And it's just Giant Man, no additional figures. So that was that's the first thing that sort of got me. I was like, damn, not even a regular sized figure. I hope that Hasbro know that we would like this figure in regular scale as well. Like, I know people out there would love to build that sort of display where you've got them in different scales. So I'd love a 6-inch version of this. Like, that would have been the ideal base offering here. This and then the 6-inch version of this in that costume. But again, not to be. But yeah, there we go. So yeah, he looks good. What can I say? He looks good. And people are backing it. And again, each to their own, but again, over 100 backers just since while I was rambling on there. So yeah, good stuff. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Okay, so you guys let me know what you think. If you've been typing before, I do apologise. Again, I was rambling along. But you let me know what you think in the chat. What do you think? Are you on the same wavelength with me? Do you reckon it should have been a figure there? Is the figure the thing that's bugging people, or are people genuinely happy? I can see California Red Devil down there at the bottom. He says, I'm good with this. I'm good with this at 199. Greg Miller says, what the hell? I'll give it a shot. Rectangular says, I backed Giant Man already. Now, if we can get the grumpy old man Rectangular, I love you, Rectangular. I love you, Todd. I love you. But if we can get Todd on side, then we're off to a good start. We're off to a good start, people. We're off to the races. If Rectangular's backing it, we're off to the races. But I don't think people... I don't know how people would be able to dispute... Again, everyone is allowed their own opinion. Absolutely, everyone's allowed their own opinion. But just looking at the figure here, like, it looks like a solid representation of Giant Man, like, in figure form. It genuinely does. It looks like... The way they've done the design, it's, like, inspired by classic, but it would still fit in with your modern Avengers as well, if you know what I mean. Like, you could put this with a more modernised Iron Man armour and Captain America, and it would fit in just as nice as it would with classic. So it sort of blurs the line. So you can basically build your Avengers team around this now without worrying too much about the design being out of the era, if that makes sense. That's at least how I'm feeling looking at this. I'm looking at this thinking, oh, okay, I can build an Avengers team around this now. It doesn't necessarily have to be the first appearance of Giant Man, issue 2 of Avengers, or... it can be a more modernised look. Again, the magic about collecting, people, and displaying and all of that is it's your own. It's yours. You can do what you want. You create your own rules in your display. Everyone's displays are different. Everyone's collections are different. You can create your own rules, and you can break them as well. That's the magic of it. And you're not right and you're not wrong. It's your own. It's your completely own. So... put this where you want. Legion X, thank you very much for the membership token there. He says, the pinless hands are a surprise. Yeah, completely pinless. At this scale, you would assume it has to be pinless at this point. But yeah, absolutely is. And again, aesthetically, it just adds a little bit, doesn't it? Aesthetically, it does just add to it. Again, in its most simplest form, I'm looking at this thinking, renew your Val Spider-Man body, scaled up. So Rectangular asks, are the straps sculpted or are they soft material? So they're a sort of softer material that will flex with him, but they're sculpted to the trunks, apparently underneath the trunks. So when you move him to the left, the V won't go with him, he'll move under it. So they're flexible enough where you'll be able to get a full range. There are some of the pictures that show that as well, with him leaning over a little bit. So yeah, they're not going to snap or anything like that. They are made of a softer plastic, it seems. But what Dwight and Ryan showed was only a prototype. And if I can get a picture of them back up again, like when they first came on screen, it did look pretty good. Where is it? There it is. Let me go back to these. Like, that looks impressive, doesn't it? Like, when you put that, and they've put the Avengers there on purpose, haven't they? Let's be honest. But that looks good. That looks like an accurate representation of Giant Man when it's compared to the other Avengers there. Now, they've obviously went for a sort of classic character design with modern Avenger lineup, if that makes sense. You've got your sort of MCU modern days Avengers lineup in comic form there. And again, it works, doesn't it? It sort of works. You're blurring the lines, you're breaking a little rule with some rules, but it still works. And they come up to the shin, just under the shin. Hulk comes up to just about the kneecap. I reckon that looks good. Like, no doubts. Again, I'm sure people will have their faults, and that's absolutely fine. But as just looking at Giant Man as a figure here, I think he looks good. Futuristic 97 says, yeah, I think we were just missing that extra fig to be palatable. Yeah, I agree. If there was a 6-inch figure there with the base offering as well, like I think we all assumed there would be, I think everyone would be no hesitation at all, they'd be in on this. If you wanted Giant Man, of course. Some people don't even want Giant Man, which is fair now. But yeah, if there was a 6-inch version of that figure as well, I think people would be very pleased with the base offering. At the minute, it's up to everybody. But again, just speaking for myself, I'm happy with the base offering. I would, for Haslab or not, if Hasbro put that out as a Giant Man, I would want it. And again, it doesn't matter if it's Hasbro, Mattel, whoever it was with the Marvel license. If they created a Giant Man that looked that good in this scale, I'd be in. Like, it's the Marvel that I have the attachment to, not the company, if that makes sense. Duran says, sorry if this has already been asked, but did the team talk about Giant Man's knees ratcheted? I never heard them say the word ratcheted at all. So I don't know. I guess these are questions we can ask down the line. But I'm sure after the Sentinel issue, they have fixed the knees. They definitely fixed it on my Galactus. My Galactus right now is on a stool, like just so he's in shot. And that is a tiny stool, and he is standing there holding the Herald of Galactus, Aunt May, in his hand. Look at this. Aunt May, the Herald of Galactus. I don't want to push my luck too much and break my camera, but look at that. Aunt May, the Herald of Galactus. He's literally holding it, and he's holding the Dan Hood logo. So he's imbalanced, and he is still standing up straight, no buckling knees. So I'm pretty confident in saying I think the Hasbro team heard us when the Sentinel came out, and they've fixed it by now. I think so. Striding says, thank God Classic Wasp is not with the Haslab. And Ryan Ting did come out and say that's the reason why they didn't give us any figures. Now, again, you can agree with him or not. That's absolutely fine. I think it should have come with another 6-inch figure. As a Haslab project, I reckon that should have been packed in there. But he said he didn't want to put figures behind the Haslab because some people just don't want to support the Haslab or don't care for the Haslab. And you don't want to stop people from getting these character designs. Like if they had put a classic first appearance Avengers Wasp with this and people didn't want to get the Haslab, then that would annoy them. So I guess that's his mindset. And I understand it. Not saying I 100% agree with it, but I definitely understand his point of view on that. But it would have been nice, wouldn't it? If the base offering here was Wasp and Giant Man to sort of fill out that Avengers roster. Like, let's go back to this shot here. Like, if the base offering was Wasp and Giant Man to fill out that little team there on the table, come on, that would have been a cherry on top. That would have been beautiful, but they have chose not to do that. And I think that will be the biggest point of criticism with the collecting community. Is like, where's the figure? Where's that other figure? Like, we want it to feel like a package. But at the minute, it's an item. We're getting an item, and if it does well, we'll get some additional accessories. That's basically what we're at right now. Mike Heck says, his Galactus has fell over 3 times. Sad times. I've had no issues with my Galactus, just for the record. Wasp has had like 100 costumes. That is very true. That is very true, she has. But and maybe we will still get a Wasp. If this project does well, remember with the Sentinel did so well, like it went off, it literally went on fire. They had 3 tiers, and then they made up a 4th tier during their campaign to give it the Tri-Sentinel head. The first time we seen that Tri-Sentinel head was just a digital render, because they came up with that as an additional tier because the campaign was doing so well. So if the campaign is doing well and people are backing this, then maybe they're offer something extra. Who knows? I don't know. At the minute, they've only announced 2 tiers. Maybe that's all they've got planned. We don't know yet. We don't know. Compulsive Collector, thank you very much, says going back to yesterday, old school costume, no temptation for me. Great offer, just not my bag. Hope it funds for everyone that wants it though, and I'm so glad Rich's mention of Nida Van Dyne as a tier didn't happen. Yeah, I think Rich knew that wouldn't happen. We got Quirky Frank. Thank you very much. He says, "Is it strange that I spell his name Giant Man?" No, I keep spelling his name wrong as well, to be honest, and Spellcatcher keep correcting me, so no, not at all. Thank you very much, Quick Randy, for the super chat there. Right, let's see what you guys are saying. Let me scroll up a little bit more. Who else we got in here? I need a drink. It's so hot in here. I've had to close my window as well because the neighbours would hear me on the street talking about Giant Man, thinking I'm a crazy bastard. So hear me shouting 24 inches out the window. They'd be very... The missus just left the house, and I'm in the house screaming 24 inches. That wouldn't have went down well with the neighbours. So the window's closed, and you can see I'm starting to sweat. But I've got an icy cold Koppelberg. The weekend's starting, people, so I'm all good. I'm all good. What are people? $2,200 isn't bad, says Xander. Tariq says, they said they won't do figures. I think they made a box set of figures that complemented the figure, but the anniversary wave does that. Yeah, and that's what they're showing on the table. This is a Beyond Earth's Mightiest themed figure. So this Giant Man is in the same sort of vein as the summer program, all those box sets we've been getting recently. Yeah, absolutely. All those box sets just behind Dwight's shoulder there, they're all in the same vein of just the Giant Man. They all have that same Beyond Earth's Mightiest packaging. So yeah, we do already have figures right now. Just think, Giant Man isn't going to get, if it's fun, so if Giant Man funds, we wouldn't even get this in our hands until this time next year as a bare minimum. So Giant Man is still over a year away. And let's be honest, Legends are releasing hundreds of Marvel Legends a year. So we're going to get over 100 new released Marvel Legends before Giant Man even gets here. That's if he backs. So I am sure Hasbro have in the lineup a new Hope, a new Janet maybe, and other characters that would complement this figure. I am sure of it. But we shall see. And let me go back to you guys. Again, I'm just trying to catch comments here to see what you guys think. The Fossil says, I'm glad of the price. It's good. So far, the poll. Again, please get involved in the poll at the top of the page. Over 220 votes so far. Quite simply says, do you plan on backing Giant Man? So far, 47% say yes, happy with the base offering. 26% say not yet, need to see more. So those 26% are on the fence. They don't hate what they see, but they're not quite ready yet. And then another 26%, so that's neck and neck, say no thanks, not for me. So the majority there seems relatively positive so far on the initial look. I can see Tanner there, Super Turk 5000, saying slightly shocked at no Wasp with Giant Man. Jamie so far says I'm in 2 minds, so I'm sure he's on the fence. Greg Miller says I'll purchase 2. That way, if the tiers are all unlocked, I'm game with the regular and scroll versions. Yeah, that's why the heads are there, so you can have different display and options. Rectangular says I'm glad that Giant Man is shorter than Galactus. Yeah, absolutely. We've all been saying that he should have been shorter. Bring Toys to Work says Giant Man retro card. Yeah, that would be a big fucking retro card. I genuinely would be able to block out my window over here. See this giant window? That's a waste of the real estate. Look at all the Marvel Legends I could be on that window if that wasn't there. So yeah, maybe I'll block out my window with a Giant Man retro card. That's the 3rd tier they unlock. The 3rd tier announced. Is there a retro card? That would be a big package that would arrive at the door. M-Ray Gaming says, is Rich going to live with his Skrull and Tigra fantasy? Now, I don't know, because Rich, let's go back to the pictures here. Rich wanted an accurate version of the Skrull. Now, the Skrull version of Giant Man in the comics wasn't in that outfit. Where is he? He's there. So again, it's an amalgamation. It's an accurate idea. It's an accurate concept as Giant Man being a Skrull. It's just the wrong costume design. I'm not sure if there's a canon Marvel comic panel that has Skrull in that, a Skrull version of Giant Man in that costume. Again, there's been a lot of comics, so there might be. So don't quote me with that. But I know for the storyline that Rich was loving with Tigra, it was a more modernized design for sure. It was after Secret Invasion, wasn't it? It was still like dealing with all of that and Norman Osborn and it leads into Dark Avengers and it gets good. It's a good era of comics. It is a good era of comics. So let's give this a refresh. Let's see where we are. Okay, it went up another 100 again. So it's going up. It's moving. It's moving in the like within the 10-minute spaces I'm talking. It's going up at 100. So it's currently at 1,289. And do you know what? I'm genuinely surprised. Like I'm pleasantly surprised as well. That usually in the UK, Pulse give us like a weird UK price hike. Like it's never $200 and then £200. It's always $200, £150. It just never particularly makes sense. So I am happy and pleasantly surprised to see that the pound matches the dollar on this occasion. So yeah, it's £199 99p, and it's £199 and $99. So dollars and cents. So that was pleasantly surprised. I genuinely thought it would be like 120 or 130. That's what I always assumed. Not to be, but again, not complaining at paying less for an item that I want. And again, it looks like a good Giant Man. Like I don't know if who out there thinks it looks terrible as a classic inspired looking Giant Man in the current Marvel Legend aesthetic, utilizing the current technologies within the action figure realm. Anyone out there genuinely think it's not good enough? Like, honest question. Again, everyone's allowed their own opinion. That ain't me being sarcastic. That's a genuine question. Does anyone look at that and go, do you know what? They should have done better. Or there should be more. There needs to be more articulation. I'm genuinely curious if people are not happy at this. Like, is there anyone out there that wanted a Giant Man Marvel Legend in a classic looking design and are not happy with this as a base, just as an item, not as a price, not as a tiers and unlocks, just as this is a figure? Do you know what I mean? Like, because of course everyone can have thoughts on price and tiers. So do I. I do. I think we should have got a figure. I don't think the tiers are that exciting. But as a Giant Man figure, I reckon it does the. Can I get some hits and misses in the chat? If you're on the chat, if you're a fan of the channel, then you already know how we play this game. Let me see the chat light up a minute with some hits or misses. Just your initial thoughts. Just on the Giant Man figure, not on price, not on the base, not on the tiers and the unlocks and how many we need to earn back. Just as an action figure. Just looking at this as a Giant Man action figure, is it a hit or a miss? Genuinely curious. I'm going to start off by saying hit. I think it looks good. I apologise as I drink. I'm not used to rambling so much on myself. It's weird being on my stream on my own. I'm looking around going, where's Rich? Where's Brandon? I need someone here. Okay, there you go. So the chat's lighting up. Hit so far. I can't see one miss so far. Genuinely, not one miss so far. I'll call you out if you're the first miss. Don't put a miss just to be a dick. Put miss if you're genuine. But so far, every single person has said hit. And the comments are on screen so you can see for yourself. Comments are on screen so you can see. I'm not finagling this. The general consensus currently right now with the people watching this stream anyway, let's be honest, I'm sure there's going to be channels out there that are not happy with this, and they will explain why. And I'll be curious to hear that side of the argument too. Like, I genuinely will. But so far, everyone's saying hit. And again, I know the question I asked was very specific. It was about the Giant Man figure, not necessarily as the whole package. And again, the package has got more conversation to be had. Yeah, there you go. I put miss earlier. Lizzie Hearts. You're breaking my heart, Lizzie Hart, with that. So Lizzie Hearts is our only miss so far. But I don't think you're collecting the Avengers though, Lizzie Hearts, are you? I don't think you're into Avengers at all, so like you probably don't care for this anyway, or maybe you do. Maybe I don't know. You let me know. I'll read it. You let me know in the chat. But yeah, look at that. I'm scrolling, lots of hits, and that's good to see. Like, I do think I am hoping that last year's Engine of Vengeance stirred the pot, and rightly so. Of course, that wasn't the perfect campaign by any means, and it never backed, and messages were sent. So hopefully those messages were read loud and clear. That was my biggest concern with last year, is that everyone makes a big ruckus and then none of those messages are heard and nothing changes. But I do think here that they've at least heard and they've tried to put something together here that's going to please the majority of people. They've kept the price low. They've focused on the actual figure, and they've tried to give us a solid looking Giant Man. And I think they've done that. Again, currently the cheapest Marvel Legend Haslab, and it's not even the most expensive item on Pulse. There are more expensive. If you want to buy that Boba Fett throne room right now, that's over £200 on Pulse. That's not even a Haslab. Do you know what I mean? So for a Haslab, not mad at it. Not mad at it. George, where you been? He's been studying hard. He's been busy with his exams. Good to see you, George. I thought you hated me, George, but I'm glad to see you back. Just as for George, he says, my Avengers shelf isn't tall enough for this. Look, this is when these shelves, right, they can come out. You can pull them out. You can rearrange. You've got a whole year. Don't do a Jay. Don't do a Jay's Toy Collection UK here, where he's already in his collection room right now, rearranging the shelf. I know you are, Jay, as well. I know you're listening. I know you are right now. He's in the room already rearranging for a figure that one's not been backed fully yet, so it's not even happening, and isn't even going to arrive for another year. But Jay is right now in his collection room rearranging the display to make room for Giant Man. Just relax, everybody. Like, it's not even backed. It needs 10k. 10k is more than the Engine of Vengeance needed. So 10k is a big milestone to hit. So we need to wait and see here. And again, the cheaper price point probably has made them put the higher back account. That seems to be why that is. But yeah, it's a problem for future George, okay? Future George can deal with that. Look, I'm not worrying about it right now, people. I'll make space in a year's time. I'm good. David Display Model Behavior. There, another fellow YouTuber. He says, "Hey gang, just wanted to drop in and add to the good vibes. I'm all in with this guy." That's good to see. That is good to see. And Rectangular also says, hit that thumbs up, people. Please do, because it's a hot afternoon. I've had to close all my windows and I'm literally sweating as we talk here. So yeah, please hit that like button for Dan sweating here on YouTube. Rectangular said it's also at 1400. Let me just have a refresh. So it was at 1.2 a moment ago and it's now at 1.350. So yeah, literally every 10 minutes is going up about 100-ish. Every 10 minutes, about 100. Someone do the math. So how many minutes does it take if it continues in that way? I'm sure there'll be a peaks and trough. Like always with these campaigns, it goes. Oh, you couldn't even see that. Let me show you. There you go. 1347. It's Eeny Teeny Short Mail. He's back again. Who is this mysterious super chat donator? He says, "I think it's a decent offering. A fan of the Skrull and zombie heads. I like the idea of the Giant Man versus zombie Giant Man, or a Skrull Giant Man, or mixing up three." Yeah, is anyone out there in the chat right now so happy with this that they're already getting free? They're like, "Do you know what? I'm in all three right now." Even though the other two accessories are tiers that need to be unlocked. I wouldn't get free just yet. I would, if you want Giant Man, then if you want Giant Man and you're happy with the base offering, absolutely go in now. Why not? Day one, not a problem. But if you want to display all their heads, they're not there yet. Remember their tiers. Let me scroll. Where are they? Let me scroll down a little bit. Okay, so what are the rest of the pictures, by the way? Oh, there's the rest of the pictures. Mystery solved. So did they plan? Why didn't they release these earlier? They could have hyped this up sooner. I guess it's Giant Man in the pictures, so... Okay, well, then now we know the end of the story. Okay, so there's mystery solved. Part 5 is Giant Man at Ultron. Part 6 is him ripping Ultron in half. And then part 7 is his sinister smile with that Ultron head that he's going to bury in his back garden. Mystery solved. There you go. There's all the 7 pictures revealed. I thought we were speculating, me and Bring Toys to Work, Michael, were speculating that they may continue the pictures, but with revealing the tiers. Like picture 6 would have been the next tier. But no, not to be. They've announced all the pictures. So there it is. So 12,000 backers. So you got to get 10k to unlock him, and then another 2,000 on top of that to get the zombie head. So the zombie head is the first unlock, and then 14k. So another 2,000 on top of that to get the zombie head. So yeah, 14,000 in total to get these two interchangeable heads. And it seems like the Skrull is ahead because of the ears, but then the zombie is just a faceplate. That's how it seems here. In the video, Dwight definitely had the 2 heads in his hand. But I guess looking at the pictures, it's a different case. So yeah, the zombie is just a swappable faceplate, but the scroll is an actual head. So you get an actual second head. Interesting. Okay, interesting. And there we go. There's the scale once again. So my predictions were off. What were my predictions yesterday? That's the magic of doing these prediction streams. My prediction was 18 to 20 inches. So I was 4 inches off. Size matters, people, all right? At least that's what the girlfriend tells me. And I also guessed that the base offering would have a figure. The base offering did not have a figure. I was hoping that one of the tiers would have a figure. At least I thought we were going to get a Wasp. I thought it was going to be a Giant Man and Wasp. Not to be. So I hope Hasbro get a Wasp out there sooner rather than later. She is a character that we do need an update for regardless of this Haslab. The Wasp, last time we got a Wasp was in the retro wave in the blue outfit, which was a callback to one of the variants of the Toy Biz days. And then before that, it was in the Ultron Build-A-Figure wave, that yellow Wasp that literally rotted on shelves for ages. That I don't even have, you know. I've seen that for £5 all over the place, and I never brought it. So I actually need a comic Wasp because I haven't opened my retro one. So we need a new Wasp, please, to go along with our new Giant Man. Thank you very much. But I think the scale's good. I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy with the scale here. All new school premium details. There you go, as you said. And there it is. So it's not quite. So first appearance is Tales to Astonish. So it's not quite. It's sort of inspired by those looks and sort of tweaked and changed a little bit. That face is definitely. I've buried something in my garden face in it. That is weird. But there you go. There we go. Scrolling back. Let's see what you guys are saying again. I'll go back to use. See what you guys are up to. Okay, we need the first appearance Wasp. Yeah, I agree. Jay said my prediction was 322 inches, so this is much better. Yeah, I agree. I was off with my prediction too. Rectangular says, my only nitpick is that the straps are black so that they do not match the Build-A-Figure. If they included a second set of straps, that would be cool. Yeah, let's put that into the universe. Remember, we sort of said out loud, and we know Hasbro are lurking, right? They may be watching right now. Are you watching? We asked for the second tentacle, didn't we? We asked for the second tentacle with the Sentinel, and they added that in. That wasn't an unlock. That was something they added into the base offering, a second tentacle with our Sentinel. So let's put the community feedback out there and be like, look, let's give us the different colour straps, because the way I think Dwight explained it is that the straps are sculpted in underneath the trunk, so I don't think they'd be easy to swap, if at all, to be honest. So it may actually be a lot harder to execute in principle, maybe. But it's a fair point. The straps don't match that classic appearance. I'm okay with the black straps. I think it's close enough where it's going to work. It's not something that bugs me. Like, it's still, looking at Giant Man here, it looks like, if that looks like Giant Man, it's my mind's eye of Giant Man that's close enough to it for me. At least for me and my brain, that's close enough to it. I'm not going to be too nitpicky on the colour, but I know a lot of people did like the idea of the Haslab being the same as the original Toy Biz Build-A-Figure, so they could create that display of the slowly building sort of Giant Man effect, which would look epic on the display, undoubtedly. I'm surprised, like, in the base offering, they could have gave us a tiny one, a regular one, and a big one. Like, come on, that would have been great. £200 for big one, small, medium. Oh, that would have been perfect. And then, like, doesn't matter about the tiers. That's a solid base offering. Tiers are a bonus at that point. But not to be. Not quite to be. So that's my nitpick. I reckon we should have got a figure in there as well. It'll be backed within a week, says Eric Stream. Okay, let's ask that question then. Let's ask that question. Predictions on if this will get backed or not. Again, 10k. It needs 10k. 10,000 backers minimum. So 10k backers minimum. And we wouldn't even get the interchangeable heads. All right. So 10k backers minimum without these. Is it going to do it? It's got until the 23rd of October. 23rd or 24th of October for us in the UK. Because it's in the middle of the night for us. So yeah, early hours in the morning, the 24th of October in the UK. Is it going to get done? Let's see it. Let's see yeses and no's in the chats. And I'll put it on the screen. Yeses and no's in the chats. Is this getting backed? Is Giant Man actually going to become into existence? Right now, it's just a pipe dream. It's just an idea. It's a mirage right now. Is it going to happen? Instadan says, Dan, tell Hasbro to re-release the Skrull Army Builders. I already have. I told him at the start of the stream, and I'll tell him again right now. Hasbro, re-release the Skrull Army Builders. We need another opportunity to add some Skrulls into our collection. Secret Wars, or Secret Invasion was just on Disney Plus. That was the perfect opportunity to get those items back on Pulse. Not to be. I want some Scroll Army Builders, please. I only got 3 because I was broke at the time. So, yeah, I need some more. So, put some more out and I'll give you some more money. That's how business works. Get the scrolls available. Thank you very much. Is that enough, Dan? Is that enough for you? There you go. Okay, what are people saying? Okay. So far, this will defo fund from Randall. Jason Lopez, the retweeting kin, says, my guess is this will be funded by Friday before PulseCon, if not the night before PulseCon. Interesting. Jason, are you in on this? I know earlier you were like trying to avoid all the Haslab hype. Are you interested in this now you've seen it? Jay's Toy Collection UK says 10k is simples. Remember, the Ghost, which was over double the price of this, was... So, yeah, the Ghost was £300 more than this, and that got over to 22. Dom actually sent me a really good link. Let me find this image that Dom... Shout out Dom who sent me the link from some Facebook group earlier of all the price points and backing levels of the previous Haslab. So that'll be good to sort of see if we can guess where this lands. Let me see if I can find that image. But let me know in the chat. Do you think it's going to back? If you're going to fund, let me know. Right, I'm trying to find Dom. There he is. Where's this image? Right, there it is. Put that on there. Let's throw this on the screen. Okay, so let's look at the chat. So far, people are saying yes. I think this will get 15 backers. Rectangular. Compulsive Collector says yes. Tariq says yes. If it's a hot toy community, also won a few. I'm also backing, says Romeo. John says hit. So that's a yes. Bring Toys to Work says I think it will back easily. Sinister said this will get back. JC Shaw says I think it will, but I don't think it will be as popular as it could have been. Yeah, I agree with that statement. Starkiller says I think it will with the price. Yeah, I do think under the £200, only just a penny under £200 is more palatable for people, especially at the minute. Just think you've had the Ghost, you've got the turtle layer, you've got the Thunder Tank, the Cats layer. That's just a few, and that's not including if you had ordered 2 or 3 G.I. Joe, like not even Haslab G.I. Joe, like just the Trouble Bubbles were like £100, weren't they? It was just under £100, 90 something pound. So if you had ordered a couple Trouble Bubbles, that's the same price as Giant Man at this point. And I'd argue that the Giant Man's going to give you more plastic in. If you mounted a couple of Trouble Bubbles down and then mounted Giant Man down, I think Giant Man is going to give you more plastic than the Trouble Bubbles. So I'm just saying, there's other items out there that are more get into the same price point as Giant Man. So I do think the price is palatable for people. Air Extreme says today it's going to say 6 backers. Interesting. Galactus is still number 1 for the most backers. Yeah, and that's the images I wanted to bring up. So here is the image. Sorry it's really small. Can I zoom in? Let me try and zoom in. Surely in today's technology we can zoom in. Okay, we've zoomed in. Well done. 90s action movie technology. Blurry zoom in. Enhance. Okay, so Galactus, even after the Ghost yesterday, is still the most backed. The Galactus was phenomenal. Over 30,811 people, or exactly that number, backed it. Okay, so that's over 12 million. Fucking hell, Hasbro. Fucking hell, 12 million gained on. Just think, Hasbro pressed the button and then 12 million in their account. Absolutely insane. The Ghost, 21,000. So that only ended yesterday. Remember, literally ended yesterday. So if you're a Marvel fan and a Star Wars fan that backed the Ghost, you may be looking at this thinking, do you know what? I'm happy that they've went for a cheaper price point here. You may be able to get both now. So where's the Sentinel? The Sentinel was 21,000 again. So this is, in regards to the Marvel Haslabs, it's definitely the cheapest. So where will it end? Where will Giant Man end it when it's all said and done? Now I'm sure Geek Dad Toy Life friend, I can't remember his name, the friend of him will make one of those graphs, and we'll see one of those graphs going around with the back account and the speed and all that. I'm not fancy enough to put a graph together. I steal images from Facebook groups. So thanks Dom for this image. So yeah, whoever did I do too much Excel for work, let alone for toys. So yeah, my hobby, I'm not getting Excel sheets with hobbies unless it's for pre-orders. Michael knows what I'm talking about. So yeah, where will it end at the end of the day? But it won't beat Galactus, I don't think. I reckon it'll get backed. I reckon over 10k. Maybe 20k, maybe, I don't know. Early doors, people, early doors. So early, isn't it? So early. But it's all fun conversation, people. It's all fun. Again, light-hearted conversation here. No pressure on anybody, not making anyone feel bad if they don't like it or not backing it. Absolutely your own individual choice. We're just having a conversation amongst friends. First Lad says, how much is the shipping cost? Shipping's included. If you're in the UK at least, I assume it's in America as well. Shipping's free. No shipping cost. So it's literally shipping's included. The Americans, it's a little bit more of a complicated situation because I know sales tax is different in every single state of America. So the price will fluctuate slightly depending on what state you are in America. But I'm assuming shipping's free on Pulse after a certain level anyway. So you're only paying the shipping cost. Can an American friend confirm that for me? Is shipping included in the price and the only additional price you've got to pay is the sales tax in your state you're shipping it to? Would I be correct in saying that? But in the UK, that's 200 all in. £199.99p all in, done. In the UK, it's £5. £5 pixel plastic for Giant Man. If I had this in my back seat, they're charging me £5. No, they're not. No, they're not. It's free shipping over $50, right? Or £50. What are you talking about? Free shipping. Let me go. What are you talking about? I'm not getting a shipping charge. It's shipping included. I think. Limit is 5 in the UK. Who's buying 5? Did anyone say they're buying 3? I missed that. Let me go back to you guys. £15 for shipping in the US. $2.15 after tax, free shipping. Okay, free shipping. Free shipping in the 50. Okay, so again, as you can see in the chat, it's a little bit different depending on where you are. A little bit different depending on where you are. Oh, okay. Robert Page says it's only Pulse members it gets free. Interesting. Haslabs don't do free shipping unless it's premium. Really? I'm not premium enough. I can't remember paying shipping on a Haslab. I don't think so. I already spent money on the next wave of Cosmic Legions. This looks cool, but it's an easy pass. That's fair, and that's absolutely fair. Everyone's collection, everyone has their own collecting habits. Everyone has their own priorities in collection. Absolutely fair. It's okay to like something, but say it's not for me. It's absolutely okay to go, do you know what? That looks good, but it's not for me. The Ghost. I'm not a Star Wars guy. I thought the Ghost was a haunted ship. I don't know what it is, but it looks cool, but it's not for me. Do you know what I mean? So, not for me. But it looks fine. It looks good. It looks like a cool ship. I nearly got the Razor Crest just because it looked good in Mandalorian. I don't collect 3 3/4, but I nearly got it just because it's a cool looking toy. At the end of the day, we're just action figure fans, right? It just helps that we also like all these franchises and brands that are making into plastic. That physical representation of the things we love. Everett is asking how big is it? It is 24 inches. 24 inches in height. 24 inches. There we go. Okay, so yeah, the Ghost had Chevron shipping on top, but cancelled premium for free shipping. I'm a Pulse premium member. I'm kind of a big deal around here, says Dan. Insta Dan. Dan, do you want to start shipping everyone and stuff? Get the free shipping for people? Robert Page said it started with the EOV. We shall no longer talk of the EOV. Those days have gone. They have come and gone. Lessons have been learnt, hopefully. Michael says it's now 1,500. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a little refresh. And scroll up. It is now... Oh, not quite. Let's zoom in. Let's see if it will zoom for me. Not quite. It is currently 1,499. Not quite. Not quite. We're a little bit behind in the UK, apparently. A little bit behind. Let me refresh. There you go. Jumped up 6, 7, 8. Quick maths. So, yeah, there you go. It's on its way. It's climbing. At least it's moving. If you want Giant Man, you've got to be happy to see it moving. Now, I'm not telling anyone to back anything this year. Do what you want. I'm not saying nothing. Back it if you want to. No pressure at all. I am going to be backing it. I like the base offering. I'm comfortable. For me, just speaking for myself here, people, I am comfortable with the base offering. Like, if we don't get any of the other tiers and we just get Giant Man, I'm comfortable with the price point. I reckon he is going to look epic in our collection. If he was available on Pulse right now for that price, I would buy it. It looks good. Looks good. The Super Adaptoid, right? That's behind Dwight's shoulder. That Super Adaptoid was like, how much is that in the UK? Like, let's have a quick look in the Super Adaptoid price. Super Adaptoid. Okay. Let's go back to that. So Super Adaptoid in the UK was £80. Okay. So in your brain, you've got to think to yourself, okay, Super Adaptoid, would you say an obscure villain? Yes, I would say so. It's an obscure Avengers villain, Super Adaptoid, which is basically a lot of reuse. Let's be honest, that's a lot of reuse there, just repainted green, is £80. So in your mind, you've got to think, is it worth another 120 on top to get a completely brand new, completely pinless 24-inch Giant Man that would fit in aesthetically with your current Marvel Legends display as modelled by those two there? That's what you've got to decide. That's up to you. I say yeah, just for me. I say looks good. I'm in. There you go. And it's still moving. It's still moving right there. Still moving. So yeah, interesting. Let's just jump back to the chat. See what you guys are saying. Look at the poll. The poll's moved up a little bit with over 325 votes, which is pretty good. For let's be honest, this is an afternoon here in the UK, and I'm sure a lot of my American friends are probably watching me on their phone at work or in between work hours or sneakily watching YouTube. So I appreciate you joining me on this hot Friday afternoon. So over 325 votes here. 50% of you guys are happy with the base offering. That's good. That's probably, if we had asked that same poll last year with the Engine of Vengeance, the numbers wouldn't have been anywhere close. So I would say that's decent. That's decent, because 26% don't hate it. 26% are on the fence. 26 are saying not yet, need to see more. Can you see that on the poll? I'm sure you can see it. If you're not looking on the poll, let me move that down for you, okay? There you go. 26% saying not yet, need to see more, and a 24% say no thanks, not for me. So out of everybody that is visited this live stream right now, live on YouTube, literally half an hour after the live panel, the majority of people are thinking more positively than negatively on this, which is good. Good vibes. Good vibes. You know, this channel has always been about just having fun with the hobby. We have the conversation. We have the hard conversations. We are critical, absolutely. But I think on this occasion, it's okay. It's looking good. It's looking good. And positive vibes in general. It's just better. It's just better environment, isn't it? It's better to be on YouTube in the toy world when people are in a better mood. You know what I mean? It just really is. Really is. Bring Toys to Work says, I'm thinking the Toy Biz one would still be in demand if someone wanted it for the growing effect. Yeah, I don't think this devalues there absolutely will be a few people out there that get rid of the Toy Biz one. Let me get the images up, actually. I've got a few images here of the old Toy Biz one and the Marvel Universe one. So where are they? So the story for me, again, I can only speak for myself in this situation, but I never got the Toy Biz Build-A-Figure. I had pieces. I had the leg and an arm. I can't remember. I wasn't all in at Marvel Legends during the Toy Biz days. I thought I was too cool. I liked Marvel Legends. I'd get one or two and hide them under my bed. So I wasn't all in the Toy Biz days. So I never got Giant Man, and I never backtracked to build him either because he's pretty pricey. I always had hoped that Hasbro would get him out again. Now, it's taken him 16 years since we've last get an Giant Man at a bigger scale. But these are the previous two that you currently could have had in your collection. One of them's like a scaled up Marvel Universe, technically. It is the same. See that Ant-Man box set? That Ant-Man head that is behind Ryan Ting's... Sorry, Ryan, but you're meditating in this shot here. But behind Ryan Ting meditating there, trying to send positive vibes into the universe, is that Giant Man helmet, or Ant-Man helmet. And that is where this... Giant Man in the modern look came from, all right? So that was an option. That could have been fudged into a 6-inch display, or we've got the Toy Biz Build-A-Figure, which still holds up. An epic, I think Toy Shiz actually put a review up, a throwback review. Very clever timing there, Toy Shiz. I know what you're doing. He put a Toy Biz Giant Man Build-A-Figure review up on his channel today, and it still holds up, still looks really good. So yeah, I don't think this will devalue, but like Rectangular was saying, he's got the blue straps, so if this Build-A-Figure or this Haslab had the blue straps, you'd be able to do the growing effect a little bit more accurately. But I don't think it takes away. I still think you could do it. I still think you could do it. I still think it could work. And because the straps are a separate piece, because the straps here are a separate piece, that has been said, I think it would be relatively, for a good customizer, of course, if you really, really wanted that blue, you have the option to make that change yourself, I think. And shout out the new subscriber, South Preference. There you go. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to we talk Marvel Legends here, if you couldn't tell. But there you go. So let's be honest. Let's be honest right now, okay? Let's just in its most simplest form. is the Haslab a better offering for a Giant Man in your collection than what's currently available? Let's bounce between the two here. Let me get a decent picture up. Okay, so is the Haslab better than what's currently available? I think even the biggest Marvel Legends Hasbro hating critics out there of the world would say yes. Like, how could you not? That's better. And someone broke it down to me yesterday. That the builder figure it is a retreat, isn't it? It's your reward for going all in on a wave. So essentially, back in the day, that Giant Man was a nice reward, right? But that Giant Man right there has went for more money on the aftermarket than this current Haslab has. That's a factual statement. That builder figure right there has went on the aftermarket for way over £200 in good condition. Absolutely, you'll find sold listings over the 16 years of that builder figure going for £200. And like now in the current climate with price rises and all of that for £200, again, I think it's a solid base offering. Would I have liked an additional figure, whether it be a smaller version of Giant Man or a Wasp? Yes, I think that would have been cherry on top. Wasn't to be, but I'm still comfortable. Speaking for myself, I'm still comfortable at going in on this because that at 24 inches is absolutely better than any previous representation of Giant Man. And I've always said, for me in my collection, I want the best representation of a character in my display. And like, they've proved it already with him on the table. He looks good. He looks good with the Avengers. Yes, that's an amalgamation of the teams throughout eras and costumes, etc. But blurring the lines here, not getting hypercritical of being canon to any particular comic page or panel, just as a generic team of Avengers on a shelf, they look great. And Giant Man looks like a Giant Man. 24 inches. Look at him compared to Captain America right there. I'm in. Honestly, the more I look at it, the more I like it. I think talking to... Again, I've went live so soon after the panel. This is me just thinking out loud, brainstorming amongst friends. So, again, at first I was a little bit underwhelmed. At first, when I first seen the image, I was like, okay, what else? And then I heard it didn't come with anything else. At first I was like, it doesn't come with a figure. That was my first thoughts, honestly. But then the more I look at it and the more I start comparing it to what we've had and what's available, the more I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I'm good at this. I'm good with this. And again, just speaking for myself here. Just speaking for myself. Like I said, I love Todd, but if we've got Todd on side, we're off to a good start. Okay. Again, and the poll's moving up as well. The poll's still moving up. Still going up. 300, see if we can get that to 350. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying on YouTube until that poll gets to 350. We're currently at 343 votes. Okay, so if you have not got involved with the poll, please get involved with the poll. Quite simply asks right now, 1 hour after the original Haslab has went up, I want people's initial reactions, your initial thoughts to this base offering. Do you plan on backing Giant Man? Yes, happy with the base offering. No, not yet, need to see more, or no thanks, not for me. So far with 51%, yes, happy with the base offering. So a couple more votes and we'll get that to 350. Thank you very much for getting involved with me this hot afternoon. Let me take another sip of my drink. Cheers to you. How tall was the old builder figure, says Brandon? About 16 inches. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Around about 16 inches, or probably smaller than that, to be honest. Probably smaller than 16 inches. The only figure I've got on me is a good old Toy Biz builder figure, Apocalypse. So, and I think Giant Man and Apocalypse were about the same scale. So, let me get my tape measure. Where's my tape measure? So, there we go. Again, this is rough estimates live on YouTube, but what we're looking at, let me just get it to his foot. So that's about 14 inches. That's about 14 inches. So I'm going to say that, yeah, the Giant Man builder figure from the Toy Biz days is about the same size, 14 to 16 inches. So, yeah, undoubtedly this new one is going to blow out the water. Fizz says, I think I was the 14th backer. So I'm only assuming here are the people that are planning on backing this, like are the ones that are happy with the base offering, do you still wait until the end, or do you just go, I'm in now? It doesn't charge until the very last day. So you can back today, and it will not charge you until the 23rd of October. If you're in the UK, it will not charge you until the 24th of October, early hours in the morning. So yeah, you can back today, and it will not charge you until the very end. So again, completely up to you if you want to do that. But that's just the facts. If you back today, it will not charge you till the very end. So I'm just curious. If you want it, no harm in putting a back in now. But I'm biting my tongue because I know people twist my words and take out little captions of sentences and try and portray me as something I'm not. So there you go. So Jay said he's backed it already. There you go. Jay's in. I will back it after this stream. I've not backed it yet because I went straight to streaming on YouTube. But I could back it right now live on YouTube. But I probably will show my credit card information and get hacked. So best avoid that. Everett says, yes, I'm definitely getting this. Jamie says, I'm so torn. Not really a character I need for my shelf, but he looks so good. Maybe they can convince you, Jamie. Maybe from now until just think that's the Hasbro's job, isn't it? Now, from the now, maybe it will happen. Maybe it will go. Maybe again. Let's think best case scenario. Okay. So again, we're just brainstorming. Okay. So don't clip me and put this on some weird YouTube channels that I'm misquoting me. We're just daydreaming here, okay? Daydreaming. Best case scenario, right? Is this goes on fire. This people love it. People love it. They're happy with the price point. They're comfortable with the base offering, and people start backing it. It gets backed within the first day. Like it breaks records. Everyone's super happy, and then it bounces through these 2 tiers. It gets to 10k, it unlocks, gets to 12k, we get the zombie, gets to 14k, we get the thing. But there's still over a month left of the campaign, or close to it. Let's say there's 3 weeks left of the campaign, and we've unlocked everything. I'm pretty confident in saying, again, I don't know this, but I'm confident in saying that there's probably a 3rd tier already planned, scheduled in there. But they're not going to show it us yet, are they? Because it isn't backed. So again, best case situation, this POW gets backed fully. We start knocking out the tiers. But just think, people, and we can only go based on evidence, right? So just yesterday, or the day before yesterday, the Ghost. People were saying, you're not getting Zeb. No way Zeb's happening. The Ghost is not getting fully backed. And then it literally jumped to 21,000. Over 4,000. Yeah, over 4,000 what Zeb needed. 4,000 on top of this base offering would unlock both of the tiers. Do you know what I mean? So, like, people wait until the last day for whatever reason. That's up to you, whatever your reason. But there's no need to if you're interested from the get-go. So, yeah, I think once everything is unlocked, though, it gives people more confidence to fully back it. So I think that's what happened with the Zeb offering, is that Zeb got unlocked. They're like, oh, okay, now I feel more comfortable with the price point, and that's what happened here. So again, we shall find out how the story gets told for Giant Man. We don't know yet. We don't know. Again, we're literally an hour ago, or 2 hours ago, this got shown. So, yeah, 2 hours ago, this got shown. So it's still early doors. We don't know how the community feels entirely yet, but it's moving up. It's moving up. It's at 1,619 now. So, yeah, if this gets completely backed relatively quickly, and then we start knocking through the tiers relatively quickly, will they show us something else? That's a good question, actually, before we get out of here. Let's ask you guys. Do you reckon, let's say, best case situation, this is received positively, people are backing it, we unlock both of those tiers, will the 3rd tier be a figure, or if it's not a figure, what will it be? If there is, or isn't there going to be a 3rd tier at all? What are your quick thoughts? Rich, are you around? Rich, if you're home, I'll send you the link. Come in here real quick. If you're home, Rich, send me a DM. Send me a DM if you're in. If you're home. No pressure if you're not. But I'm sure people would be eager to get your initial thoughts here. If you're home. Let me message him. I'll message him. Yeah, Rich, DM me if you want in, and I'll send you the link. Only if you're home and you're free. No pressure, but I'm sure people will be curious to see if that scroll head can convince you. What are the add-ons? We can tell. Rich can come in right now. We can tell you everything, Rich. Ryan's Ting says no more figures. So, okay, maybe I missed that then. Maybe I was making a thumbnail at the time. So, no more figures at all. Okay. So, what would the third tier be? Another head? What other head? Do we need another head? With the 3 swappable faceplates and the 2 unlocks, we're looking at 5 options already for your Giant Man. Right? With the 3 different head sculpts, where are they? So, there's the 2 unlocks. And where's the 3 head sculpts? There's the 3 crazy head sculpts. So there's the other one. Crazy smiling face, gritty face. There's your 3. So with the 2 unlocks and these, you've got 5 options for display already. Options are never a bad thing. Options are never a bad thing. But what would a third one be? Again, we're just daydreaming. We're not saying it's happening. We're just fantasy. We're just fantasy talk right now. For the sake of a fun conversation, you're allowed to have fun in this hobby. I know not everyone's aware of that, but it's true. We usually get involved with this hobby because it's fun in the first place. So, yeah, for the sake of a fun conversation, what would the third unlock be? What would the third tier possibly be? Eric Stream says, Dan sent you a picture of the Giant Man with the black straps. Oh, nice. Okay, is that on Instagram? Let me have a quick look at that. Okay, let me have a look on my Instagram. See what Eric Stream is. I'm assuming you've Instagram me. I'm having a look. This Giant Man had black straps. Oh, so you're showing me. Oh, so what Giant Man's that?
I got money in the bank.
Oh, I got super chat pop up. Let me go back to Streamlabs, otherwise I won't see it. Oh, it was Eric Stream. Thank you, Eric Stream. I'll show you the picture you just sent me. So Eric Stream just sent me that and said that's the Giant Man with black straps. Where was that Giant Man from? Doesn't look good, let's be honest. Which I think I'd rather go for the Haslab. But there you go. There it is. He's also got the big circle on him, which is what inspired the modern look as well. Like, it slowly evolved, didn't it, to go all red, and they got rid of the blue and it went black and red. So yeah, let me just check my Instagram again in case Rich is around. I'm home. Okay, Rich is home. Let me send Rich the link. Let's see. Rich has been at work, right? So Rich never got to watch this, so I just need to quickly get the Zoom open so I can send Rich a link. So bear with me a second here, people. Let me just play. Let me go back to hopefully Hasbro don't copyright strike me here. But maybe I can just play some of the video. Maybe if it will let me. If it will. Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to the video while I open up Zoom for Rich. So you'll just hear me talking, blah, 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 what are they showing? I can't see the screen right now. I'm opening Zoom. I didn't preset up Zoom because I didn't think I'd have a guest, but of course we need to get Rich on here. All right. Let's copy link. Alright, bear with me, people. This is live. We are live here on YouTube. Please do not swear. Fuck. Just swore. Don't worry, it's fine. We can swear. I think. I get pressure, you know. Pressure when I'm live on YouTube talking to myself. Feels weird. Oh, fucking hell. Copy. Invitation. Come on now. There we go. Alright. Rich, I'm DMing it you. I'm DMing it back to you, Rich. There you go. There you go. Let's see if Rich can get involved. Then I need to go back to Streamlabs and press some buttons. Right, here I am. I'm back again. I need to press some buttons. Hopefully Streamlabs don't crash. If it crashes, it's been a great show, and I'll see you on the next one. We've all had technical issues, right, on YouTube Live before that's happened. Yeah, if it crashes, great show, everybody. I'll be back on Legends and Liquor. I'll see you Sunday. Okay. Let me just check my co-host stream. Okay, it's working. It's fine. My co-host stream's working. Rich, if you get in, let me get my headphones. Good job I was charging them. See if we can get Rich in here. Where's the rich emojis at? We're about to get rich on people, all right? Get the rich emojis in the chat. Let's get some rich emojis. Let's get him in here. Let me make sure I can hear him first before I bring him on. Okay, there he is. Okay, Rich. Rich, testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Rich, are you there, Rich?
Hello.
Oh, he's
Hello,
there. He's there. He's there. There you go. Right, let me get you on. All right, there he is. There you go. There he is. There you go, Rich.
Woo!
How's your day been? It's the weekend, my friend. You must be in a good mood.
Yeah, it's just
I got
hot. It's
money
like
in the
boiling.
bank.
It is very hot. Oh, you come in and throw money at me. I love it when it does that. Stay
Roger
here, Rich.
129
Thank
donated
you, Roger.
$4.99. I'll back it at the end, cause I want to see what the secret tiers could be. Because
Interesting.
that will determine if I buy 1 QTY versus 2 QTY versus 3 QTY.
Okay, that's fair. So Roger says, I'll back it at the end because I want to see what the secret tiers could be, if there are secret tiers, because that will all determine if I buy 1 versus 2 versus 3 versus 4. So, Rich, this is a nice surprise. I genuinely didn't think you'd make it, to be honest. I've been rambling to myself, not even aware of the time. It's stressful doing it on my own, you know, genuinely panicky, like, shit, am I talking too much? Should I shut up? Should I go now? So I'm glad you are here. So I haven't spoke to you yet at all. So I have no idea what you think of this. Now, from yesterday, your initial thoughts were you're not too interested in the Haslab. You're over it. You're over the Haslab concept. You don't really care. But you're, as a Marvel fan, and for the sake of the community, you'll at least give some thoughts on it. So, have you managed to look at it? Have you seen anything yet?
Yeah, so it's the classic Giant Man outfit, which I think the chat were wanted, but it wasn't my most wanted look. But there's no extras, no figures at all.
No figures at all. And we did a whole stream. Dan Yu's tweet was definitely about us going, lower your expectations. Yeah, no figures at all. So again, that was my first reaction, you know, when there was no figure. I was like, I didn't even focus on Giant Man. I just thought, nothing else. But then I started looking. So let's get some sweet pictures up, see if I can anyway.
But what size is it? How big?
24 inches. Now, you said yesterday, just before we went offline, you said that 36 is too much. That's your limit.
I did that's too much because it needs to be smaller than Galactus or the Sentinel, I think, to be like in scale type of thing.
Okay, so let me get these images.
Oh,
up.
so he's got face plates. Have you?
Yeah, so base offering. Let's break this down for Rich then. Again, Rich has just finished work, people, all right? So initial offering for £200, which is cheaper than we thought. We were both surprised it would be under 200. So for £199 and 99p, Rich, your base...
That UK as well.
UK as well, yeah. Look at
99.
99999. Yeah, the Germans love it as well. Look at that. On Pulse in UK, 999. Fucking hell, not that. £199.99p. So just under £200, even in the UK. So UK and US are on par, dollars to pound. Happy with that. So the base offering is Giant Man. He is 24 inches in height, which is...
Okay.
I've measured that to the Sentinel, so he would be basically up to the Sentinel's neck. Okay.
So he's 2 super adaptoids. How much are super adaptoids now?
Super
70?
adaptoids. I'm on the same wavelength as you, because I brought up super adaptoid and did that exact same comparison. Super adaptoid was £80. So he's
£80,
just
okay.
under 2 super adaptoids. But super adaptoid was like complete reuse painted green. This is all brand new. 91 points of articulation, the most articulated Marvel legend ever. And partly because, Rich, the hands...
91!
Look,
years move?
look at the hands. The hands. Every single...
right, okay.
It's like actual anatomy there with all the hands. So each hand has like 29 points of articulation. So yeah, including the hands.
You can slap Jana, you can punch Jana, all your domestic abuse in a figure form.
Exactly that. I said that you could flip the birds and everything. So yeah, 91 points of articulation, including the hands. So the base offering is the 3 face plates. Where were they gone? So you get Smiley Hank, which I think he looks a little bit sinister, like he's buried someone in his garden. That's what I've been saying. You get Gritted Teeth Angry Hank, or you get just sort of regular sort of grimacing Hank. So there's your 3 options. So they're not tiers. That's in your base offering, and they're interchangeable faceplates. And Dwight is basically sort of showcasing new technology with the eyes, where it's like completely clear plastic with the eyes behind it. He said it's super realistic.
I thought you could say they were like those dolls there, where you could like go behind and like move the eyes, like scare people.
Well, let me find, where's my image gone? Let me go back to YouTube for a second. I did have another panel up. So I was basically just trying to find a picture of them with it. Let me scroll forward a little bit.
Oh, look, everyone's favorite Kristoff fan.
But that I think again that scale. Like I said yesterday, based off comic book images, they usually stand on the comic book page. The characters are usually up to his shins.
Where's Dan Yun? Has he been banned or what? He's not been on show.
Yeah, he's been fired. They announced it at the start of the stream. Dan Yun's gone. He's gone.
Has he?
Too many
No
Twitter.
way.
Too much Twitter nonsense. Getting into beef. Friends with Unparalleled Universe. Swearing on his stream. Hasbro have got rid of him.
Oh, I like Dan. I thought
Yeah.
he did a good job.
Sorry,
That's
Dan. He's out of there.
disappointing.
He's out of there. They're thinking of there's a space coming up, so you and me should apply. We need to get in there, Rich. We need to be moles for the community and get in there.
Oh, I don't want to work for Hasbro. Thanks very much.
Someone
I'm
left a
good.
comment on our video yesterday saying, I think it was Stu, saying, "How are you not working for Hasbro, Rich?" He doesn't want to. That's why. That's why.
I don't think Hasbro would want me either, but I know I'm good. Thanks very much.
So yeah, I think the scale here looking good. What do you think of the scale, Rich?
Yeah, it looks good next to the other ones. I think that is like a decent size for like a display or whatever. It's just weird. He doesn't come with just Wasp or something. I don't know.
Wasp or another version of him smaller would have been cherry on top. That's what I've been saying. I said if they had another figure here, I'd be very happy. I'd be not moaning at all, and I'm not moaning as such. I know they've not included a figure to try and keep it at a lower price point, but I would have paid the extra 20 quid to get a smaller version of that, if you know what I mean, like, or whatever
So
it is.
apart from the faceplates, does it come with anything else?
Nope. Base offering is Giant Man and faceplates.
Not even like ants or a little
No
little
ants,
lamp man,
nothing. Nothing at all, yeah.
And then what? Then the add-ons are just extra faceplates.
Yeah, so let's go through the add-ons real quick. So the add-ons, if I get my images up, are the two interchangeable heads. So one of them's a faceplate, and one of them is an interchangeable head. So if we go down, where are they? Yeah, so the first one at 12,000. So you need 10k to unlock Giant Man. 12,000 is the zombie faceplate. And the pictures they're showing it off with, they've used the same colour skin on the zombie as they have on the recent Marvel Legends zombie figures. So,
right. Okay.
so that's what they've posed him with in this image here. But like my sort of grumpy moaniness is like, that's MCU and comic, and like in that episode it's the movie Giant Man. So like I'm annoyed at that picture. It works, it's fine, but yeah, it's not quite accurate, is it? But at least they made that conscious choice to use the same colour palette. And it would still look good as a zombie. Like, let's be honest, it would still look good as a zombie with the rest of them. So that's at 12,000, and it's just an unlockable faceplate with the tentacles. And then at 14 is a completely new head that's a scroll. So it's a scroll head at 14. So they're the only two things announced. 12,000 zombie, 14,000 scroll head.
So it's 10,000 to get Giant Man.
10K.
What's it on in a minute?
Right now, we've been refreshing it, and it has been moving up. And it is currently, right now, 1,700. So it's about 100 every 10 minutes, it seems to be.
Okay.
It seems to be, roughly. So, yeah.
And no civilian Robbie Reyes if you're back within 24 hours? Then?
No. We were hoping we were going to get a Robbie Reyes head, maybe. But not to be, unfortunately. So, yeah. So again, you're a Marvel fan, Rich. Like, there's no secret there. You've got two giant ladies in this collection already. Looking at the base off,
where have they gone?
I
as
don't
well?
know. They're off out in the town. The weather's good. They're off out in their bikinis.
Oh, no, there they are. Look, there they are. Right there.
There they are. So you've got two giant ladies in your collection. Looking at this, just first impressions here. Are you tempted at all? Maybe. Are you more intrigued than you previously were yesterday? Now we know the price point, the scale, the base offering. How do you feel, Rich?
I'm glad they've done this costume, and I'm glad that he doesn't come with any extra figures because that I can just skip this completely. I'm happy with this. Like,
you're out.
Yeah, I'm out completely. It's not one. Again, if you're a massive fan of the Avengers, that classic Avengers team, this is probably a great figure to get. But I've got Hank Pym's in my collection, not in this look, and this is nothing that this doesn't swing it for me. If it had been the modern day costume with that Skrull head, might have thought about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The price to me, I'm coming into this. I haven't watched, so I have to go back and watch everything. But it seems, I don't think it's like. I think the price is low is a good thing, but I thought there would be more. Like we said in the stream last night, we assumed there would be at least one figure. I don't know, because Marvel Legends is a 6-inch line, isn't it? It is like. And all the other Haslabs have come with something 6-inch with the main offering.
Ryan Ting did not go off as such, but he did have a little speech about why they're not giving us figures with this.
So why are they not giving us figures?
So he basically explained it as that last year, and again, I'm not quoting Ryan, I'm dumbing it down, but he was trying to sort of summarise that last year with the Engine of Vengeance, they learnt that people got annoyed that characters that they wanted in their collection, like Mephisto and the Goblin Queen, were behind the paywall and they couldn't get them.
That's the lesson they learned from the Engine of Vengeance was the paywall. That is the lesson they learned.
So they didn't want to put any figures behind the Haslab paywall that people may have wanted in their collection. So they've chose not to put figures. And again, I'm dumbing it down. Go and listen to Ryan's speech. But he's basically saying that. So I'm not saying I completely agree with him, but I see where he's coming from, at least. I still think the sweet spot, like you said, my initial reaction when I seen this was like, that it? But what is there is very nice. Like, what is there is very good. But I'm someone who wanted a Giant Man and has been waiting for a Giant Man. You're someone who didn't really want a Giant Man. So, like, they didn't need to convince me very much. Do you know what I mean? It just needed to be a good Giant Man at a reasonable price point, and I'm comfortable. But for you...
Yeah, if this had been a 24-inch Tiger that moved like a Titan, I would have bought it.
Yeah. So, like, again, we all know Rich is a Legends fan. Of course he is. But he doesn't need this. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Like, there's one person on the stream backing this. That's me. One person that isn't backing it. That's Rich. And that's why he's banned from the show. Get out of here, Rich. If you're not supporting Hasbro, get out of here. I don't want you. I'm joking. Fucking hell. Someone's going to clip that. I'm going to end up in someone else's YouTube video with saying that statement.
Maybe they'll invite me on. I can leave.
Don't go. I think the sweet spot, I genuinely think the sweet spot would have been that extra figure. Just give us that 6-inch figure, whether it be a smaller version of Giant Man in that costume, matching costume, or a Wasp. And like Wasp is the chat was telling me earlier, the Wasp have had over 200 costumes in the comics. They could have given us a version of Wasp as a nice touch, and then really completed that.
Even like a little, even if you weren't going to do full figures, like a mini one, just like a little mini.
I agree. If the base offering right now had been a tiny Wasp, like a little tiny bin, I don't know why my voice goes high, but a little tiny Wasp. If they included a little Wasp with Giant Man, and they could have complete that sort of core Avengers team. Now, of course, on the table's a modernised version of the Avengers, but still, when you look and go, who else is missing? You instantly go the Wasp. On that table right now, who is missing in that Avengers team? Everyone would say the Wasp. So, yeah, Wasp in some scale would have been good. Like, they could have gave us the Wasp. And again, I'm just daydreaming now. And, like, gave us, like, somewhere for it to port in or something. Oh, hang on, we got a super chat. Friday's going to read it out loud.
Donated £4.99. Great figure. Great price. Go back, Giant Man. Dyed beard Rich is drunk already, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing.
Thank you very much, Hero Collections, aka Brandon, the former co-host of the channel, but he knows he's welcome anytime. He says, great figure, great price, going back, Giant Man. Dyed beard Rich is drunk already. Rich will be issuing an official statement through his legal team about the situation of his beard shortly, all right? Just stay tuned.
It's not dyed. It's really not. Maybe I should dye it. I have like a
but dye it a different colour. Yeah. Next. Just think, you've got 2 weeks now to properly dye the beard and trim it or whatever, and in 2 weeks' time return with like a crazy beard, and then we shall see. Yeah, there you go. So I'm just looking at the chat real quick. We've had a poll up in the chat as well, Rich. Let me get it up. So from the start, and the poll, pleasantly surprised, has had over 400 votes, Rich. That means 400 people have came in and out of this stream today. So only 200 people here at the minute. So clearly 200 of them I offended. So sorry about that. But 400 votes, and the question I asked Rich was very simple. And I made this before the actually went live, so I might have tweaked it a little bit after the fact. But it says, did you plan on backing Giant Man? And then the answers were yes, happy with the base offering. So they're backing it right now regardless of tiers. Or not yet, need to see more. Because I didn't think they're going to reveal many tiers, you see. So that's why I put that there. But they could still reveal something else, like we said. So that's currently 25%. And 24% says no thanks, not for me at all. And you'd be in that category. You'd be in the no thanks, not for me. And I'd be in the 51%. So,
if they've said there's going to be no figures as add-ons, then I'm okay with not having this one. But no, people who love Giant Man and who want this, it looks good. It looks nice for what it is, and the price is
palatable. In this current climate, it's palatable. Like, we're not going to sit here and go it's cheap. We're not going to sit here and say that word. Like, it's pointless. A £200 action figure is not cheap, right? We're not going to sit here and say that. Don't misquote us. That's not what we're saying. £200 is still a chunk of change, right? But in the current climate of these crowdfunding projects, and again, it's not just Hasbro that's doing this. Super 7, NECA, recent examples, Mattel, etc. Like, in the current climate, a £200 crowdfund project, not that Hasbro need to do crowdfunds, but that's a different conversation. It's a palatable price point. So, and again, and I'm happy. Like, if this went up on Pulse right now, Rich, like we were saying, with no tiers, and it was like just Giant Man, £200, and I'm thinking to myself, well, Super Adaptoid's 80. I'm in. Super chat.
Kwaman Taylor
thank you,
donated
Taylor.
$4.99. Ting is right. If they added 6-inch figures and raised the price over $200, there would have been outrage about paywalls and steep price. Man shrugging.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Kwaman Taylor, thank you very much for the £4 super chat. He says, Tingu is right. If they added 6-inch figures and raised the price over £200, there would have been outrage about paywalls and steep price. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong, absolutely. If it was over the £200 price mark, depending on the character, who it was, and the designs, etc., etc., absolutely there would have been more criticism. And I think that's what they're trying to avoid here. As we've been saying this for weeks now, Hasbro need a nice, clean, uncontroversial win on their books, right? They just need to get one out the bag. And I think that's what they've went for here. Would I have preferred more figures? Yes. Would I have paid more for a decent additional figure? Probably. But that's me. That's me. And I'm someone who wanted a Giant Man already. So the Giant Man just needed to be good. And like considering these are our current options for Giant Man, like just think right now to have a Giant Man representation in your collection. And I always say I want the best representation of a character in my collection. Avengers are one of my favorite teams. Giant Man is one of the original fucking members of the Avengers. Well, the original appearance was Ant-Man, but Giant Man issue 2, as Rich explained. Which representation is better? These or this guy? I'll tell you again.
I mean, you can definitely see the difference with the sculpting, with everything on it.
These
it does look...
or this? Come on! It looks fucking good. It looks good. Again, we're not... that's the argument. Not argument as such. I don't want to use the word argument. But that's the statement I'm trying to make. Like, forget tiers, forget Hasbro, forget unlocks, forget price. Just looking at that as a Giant Man representation in the current Marvel Legends aesthetic, does it look good? Absolutely, it looks good. Completely pinless. Sorry, I keep bouncing to the wrong screens, Rich. Completely pinless, 91 points of articulation, 24 inches. It's basically the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man body scaled up, essentially. And there is some nice textury detail on there as well. That face freaks me out, not going to lie. But yeah, even like the jacket, the gloves, look, they're sculpted in a different texture. You've even got the little, like he's been sewing. He sewed his own jacket or sewed his own costume. Maybe Janet did it for him. But like, even that's sculpted. You've got the foot pivot. You're going to be able to get him in some dynamic poses, I have no doubts. You've got options with the head, all with a base offering. Like, let's be honest, it's in Hasbro's wheelhouse. Look, Hasbro are the company that have put cardboard, backdrops and bones as an unlock, right? So this could have been the first unlock, couldn't have it? Like, that would have been in Hasbro's wheelhouse. First unlock could have been their faceplates. So it's nice to see they're included. That's a positive. And that does help with the value, overall perception of the value on the product. So I like that they included the faceplates. Options are never a bad thing. Yeah, all in all, I'm okay. I'm in a good mood. I think I'm going to end this stream, Rich, in a good mood after that, when it's all said and done. I was worried. I'm not going to lie. I was concerned when we heard with the Haslab. Started to get nervous. Rich booked some annual leave to avoid talking about it. You know, like we all got nervous, but but no, I think it's okay. I think we're okay. And don't get me wrong, it still might not be for you. And you know what, everyone? That's absolutely okay too. That's okay. Rich doesn't want it. It's not for him. That's okay. I do like it. I've been wanting a Giant Man in my collection. I'm going to go in on it and hope it gets backed. And that's okay as well. All thoughts and opinions are okay. So there we go. Let's end this poll with over 400...
It's at Abnaglas. Fuck you, Abnaglas.
Yeah, Abnagla and Craig, get down the well. 100 likes keeps them down the well. Yeah, let me close this first. I'm ending the poll right now of 417 votes. 51%, yes, they're happy with the base offering. 25%, you still need to convince. And 24%, it's not for them, and that's absolutely fine as well. So I'm ending the poll right now. That's forever in the YouTube replay history books. Let me just make sure it's on screen so people can see that for the replay. Where is it? There it is. There it is, right there. 51%. There's the poll. Officially done straight after the initial panel was shown. So there you go. So Rich, thank you for jumping on and making a little cameo there. I appreciate that.
No worries. I will go back and watch the whole video now when I'm done with this.
Yes, well, I've moved all my buttons around because I didn't think anyone else would be on, and you can see I'm pressing the wrong buttons all the time. So thank you very much. Thank you very much to the chat as well for getting involved. Thank you people for sticking with me. Again, Legend of Liquor this Sunday, people. This Sunday, I'll be asking the same question to the community. I'll be asking all the Legend of Liquor people what they think of the Haslab. Are they in? Are they out? We're probably going to have a full house. We're going to have 18 probably different guests. Yeah, probably talking about if they want it or not, etc. And that'll be great to hear everyone's perception, what they think it should have been, if any changes, tweaks, changes, and lockable tier, all of that. We'll have all the conversations. Is it the right height? How do you feel about the price point? We will have all of those conversations on Legends and Liquor this Sunday. If you want to be a guest on Legends and Liquor, then all you have to do is become a channel member at the Members Club tier, and you can be on the channel talking toys, become a part of the community this Sunday, Sunday the 10th. Become a channel member at the Members Club tier and hit me up on Instagram and say, Dan, I'm a Members Club member. Can I come on Legend of Liquor? And I'll be like, absolutely. Come and introduce yourself to the community and we will talk some toys. Go and check out the previous episodes if you want to see what we're on about. But I'm sure at this point you're probably familiar. Over 2 years of Legend of Liquor and we're going strong. So thank you very much to the chat. We've got one more super chat in there. So I'll get that before we go. Friday might have already went out for the weekend. She already been gone, but I can see you saying, Shane Shooter, we appreciate you. He says, no, you're not a Transformers, but if you look, the really large retail Transformers, like
Metroplex.
Thank you. They go for 200 regular retail. This is way better. So there you go. Comparing value to the Transformers, what they've got offered for £200 compared to what Hasbro are currently offering for £200. There's another way you can fairly sort of look at this. And look at that. Air Extreme throwing out some more goodness in the community as well. Look at that. Let me throw this up. Air Extreme throwing out a gifted member. He did a gifted membership yesterday as well, Rich. This Air Extreme is a good man. Thank you very much. And that was caught by To Catch a Legend. Congratulations, To Catch a Legend. You are now a channel member. Make sure you go and check out all the channel member videos that are on the channel if you're trying to backtrack. But thank you very much to Shane Shooter for the channel super chat. And thank you very much to Air Extreme for the gifted membership. Again, get involved in the community here. Like, this is a safe place to talk toys. You can have different opinions, and that's absolutely fine. Like, we're not here to start arguments. We're here to have fun. This hobby should be fun. So we're going to be talking on Legend of Liquor on Sunday. And if you want to continue this conversation, our good friend over at Jay's Toy Collection UK, who's in the chat, thank you very much, Eric Stream, popping up Fridays. She's nearly there. She's about to leave. Jay will be going live on YouTube later, and he's going to be having some guests on as well. So Jay's Toy Collection UK, friend of the channel, he'll be going live on UK time about 9 o'clock to talk about the Haslab as well. So make sure you go and support Jay's Toy Collection UK. He'll be live a little bit later on to continue the conversation. Definitely part of the community that we're building here. Go and support him and you'll see some familiar faces. Rich, I'm sure you've just walked through the door. You need to crack open the vodka unless you already have. You've probably got dinner to make. We appreciate you jumping in, making a cameo. Tell the people where they can find you online.
Buy me on Displayed Once on Instagram or in Tenby next week if you're on holiday. Buy me a drink.
There you go. Buy him a drink. I will buy you a drink, but I won't be in Tenby. I'll send you some cash. Get yourself a drink on me. All right, and I'll be back Sunday, as I said. But again, if you're into Giant Man, go and check out the campaign. Make your own decision, of course. But I like what we're seeing.
If you're into Giant Man, you should maybe rephrase that so we go forward.
If you're into Giant Men. If you like the Marvel Legends Giant Man. If you want a Giant Man in your collection, I think this is worth a look. Okay? I think it's worth a look. But make your own decisions, of course. We're out of here. And Rich, I've got a new end screen. But I didn't know you'd be here. So, just me. Rich is still here. Rich, we need a word of the day in case anyone's watching on the replay. Wait, you got 10 seconds. Giant, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you backing it? Are you not backing it? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you on Legend of Liquor and click one of these videos. Bye-bye.